All right, we are going to hope that the third time's the charm on this. I was having Wi-Fi issues, and then I remembered I was having some sound issues and all kinds of fun stuff. But I'm connected to Wi-Fi, and Facebook doesn't say it might be pausing my live video because of bad connection issues. So we are going to go for this. High conflict is something that I hear a lot in co-parenting. Biomom's high conflict, biodad's high conflict. It's a high conflict situation. And I think a lot of times we don't really have a super great understanding of what high conflict means or what it looks like. So that is kind of the first place to start. And I have a hard time multitasking, but I'm inviting everybody to watch. So give me just a minute if you don't mind. Okay. High conflict situations might be situations where the biological parents can't co-parent together. They can't talk to each other. Maybe there was mental, physical, or emotional abuse or verbal abuse. Maybe every time they talk, they argue, or one person attacks the other person. And so it's a really difficult situation to be in. So when we talk about high conflict co-parenting, I'm going to start here. First of all, if you did not watch the live stream tonight from the event from Step Family Network, you got to watch that, okay? And if it's not posted right now, it'll be posted later this week, and I'll post the link in here for you. But basically, Kim Giles is the coach that was talking tonight, and she was talking about how all people come from two different fears. We're primary fear types. One is a fear of not being good enough, and that's my primary fear. And the other fear is a fear of loss or scarcity or something like that. And you can kind of think about in a divorce, there's already a loss of the family. They're already struggling to kind of put the pieces back together and to figure out what they want from their life from now on. So I'm going to turn this off for just a second. So there's a loss operating in the family already. And people maybe don't feel like they're good enough because their relationship didn't work out and they didn't do a good enough job as a spouse. So Kim's talk was incredible and it's really, really definitely worth a watch. But kind of the things that she talked about that were super important were this. Focus on yourself. Focus on the balance that you can find, because I know I've showed you this graphic before. I'm getting it off my paper. What I can control and what I cannot control. We have our fan on because it's hot in here. So you can do this, and I can email this to you guys, or I can post it here for you to print out if you want. You write what you cannot control outside of here. We cannot control what our co-parent does. We cannot control what our stepkids do or how they behave or how they treat us. We cannot control the visitation schedule. We cannot control child support. We cannot control so much stuff. This is a really big circle because what you can control is you. You can control your actions. You can control your reactions. You can control your emotional state, and you can control the boundaries that you set for yourself, what you'll accept, what you will do. If people don't do things, it's not what you'll do to them, it's what you'll do. For example, if somebody's calling you up and verbally abusing you, your boundary might be like, I'm going to hang up the phone because I don't listen to that. Or if they're sending texts that are abusive or judgmental or mean, maybe you just delete those texts without reading them and say, I don't read those texts, and say, I only focus on co-parenting issues. And that's not a boundary you're setting for the other person. It's a boundary you're setting for yourself, saying this is what I am okay with and this is what I'm not okay with. And it's all to maintain my emotional state. All of us have behaviors that we don't love sometimes. Insecurity, jealousy, anger, frustration, fear, and these all come from fear, and they come from pain and not feeling like we're good enough, or not feeling like we might lose something, feeling like we're not safe. And that safety is a huge trigger for lots of people. When we don't feel safe, we act in ways that are unsafe and unkind. So the other thing I'm going to tell you tonight before, and I'll put it in just a second. Sorry, I was just trying to see if I could make a comment while I'm talking, but I don't think I can, so I'll do it later. I go to the website www.12shapes.com 12shapes. I'm going to open up my computer and type it in for you. And then you can figure out what shape you are and also what your primary fear is. So, as a person, our job is to manage our internal state. And when we focus on everything that's going on around us and outside of us, and when we give all our power and all our emotional regulation over to people who don't like us and who judge us and who are mean to us, then we are giving up a lot of power to them. So the reason that I focus so much on that graphic that I keep covering up, I'm working with a smaller desk space, the reason I focus so much on this is because all you can control is this. All you can control is you. So why would you spend your time focusing on this other stuff? People can do things and they can say things to you that are really hurtful, that are really mean, that are really painful, that are really personal. But it's not personal in terms of, just a second, sorry. It's not personal in terms of like, it means something about us. Okay, so I just typed in the 12shapes.com website, so feel free to go check that out. Heidi, I know you really liked that, and you were at the conference when Kim talked in January too. But it is a really good visual to see what state people are operating from. And this ties into co-parenting because a lot of the things that I've written about and a lot of the things that I've talked about, it's hard as a co-parent. It's hard when you feel like somebody's attacking you, or they're name calling, or they're blaming you for things, or they are being irresponsible with the kids, or with their emotions, or with your emotions, or any number of scenarios that can happen. At the end of the day, all you can control is yourself. You can't stop them from doing anything. The legal system doesn't have any say in what people do and say at home, and they can like kind of give them a slap on the wrist, but they're not going to enforce anything that happens. When you're dealing with a high conflict co-parent, all you can do is set boundaries and say, this is what I will accept, this is what I won't accept. And then if they do something that crosses your boundary, you say, I'm sorry, I'm done with this conversation. Or just not even say, I'm sorry. You can just hang up. You can just be done. We try to make things more complicated than they really are as step parents. We try to say, well, here's the situation that I have, and here's all the background history, and you need to know all this to understand what's happening. But we really don't, because it's simple. Our job is not to manage everyone around us or to control the situation. Our job is to manage us. Our job is to make sure that we're doing okay. And that's why I focus so much on what you can and cannot control. Because as a step parent, sometimes you need to vent about stuff. Sometimes you need to be like, dude, bio mom is so dumb. I can't even handle this right now. Or you cannot believe what bio dad tried to tell us that is going to happen at our house the other day. That is not happening. It goes both ways. But we try to complicate things as humans and try to say, no, but my situation's different. You have to understand why. And it really isn't. Our job is to manage our state. Our job is to manage what we're doing. And it is hard, but liberating, Heidi. I 100% agree. Sometime I'm going to come on and do a live video and tell you guys where I was. I'm trying to remember time. I'm not good with time. It was 2.5 or 3.5 years ago. I can't remember, when I went to my first personal development event. And this was after I was a school psychologist and I knew a lot of stuff that could help people and could change lives, but I was miserable. And as I've slowly learned to focus on what I can control, including in our relationship with the bio mom, I have been so much happier because I'm not trying to control what she does anymore. I'm not trying to control what my husband does in terms of her. I ask him to do things and I hope that he does them. But at the end of the day, I say, you know what, this is out of my control and I'm not tying my happiness to this. And I think that's a part where mindfulness really ties into step parenting, because you say, I'm doing my best and I'm going to let go of the expectation that X will happen because I did Y. When we expect people to show up as themselves and to do things that are consistent with their nature and their personality, then we are able to be happy and to be free and to let go. The other thing that Kim talked about tonight that I really loved was having I'm trying to remember the word she called it. Basically, you have a conversation with the person where you don't try to explain your point of view. You just listen and you just say, oh, I can understand why you would think that. even if they're attacking you and being horrible and mean, and just saying, I understand why you would feel that way, or I can understand how you could feel that way. Which is a super hard skill to have. And for me, whenever I have to confront somebody, my mouth gets dry and I'm like, oh, I cannot do this. But it's a skill to practice and to kind of say, you know what, I'm learning the lessons that I need to through this. So what lesson do I need to learn from this experience? How can I have this conversation and validate that that's what this person is going through? And we can do that with bio parents that we're co-parenting with. We can do it with our partners and spouses. We can do it with our stepkids. We can do it with anybody that we're having a disagreement with. And the one thing that I love that Kim said tonight, because it ties in with what we teach in school psychology, she says you have to have 5 conversations like that with people for every one where you try to explain your point of view. And in school psychology, when we're trying to shape kids' behaviors, we always say that you have to have 4 positives for every negative. And for kids who have like behavior disorders and disabilities, it's more like 12 positives for every negative. So it feels hard and overwhelming at first. Just try it out this week. Try it with somebody. If somebody says, you're a jerk, be like, okay, can you tell me more about why you feel that way? And then listen to understand, not to defend yourself. And understand that what they say is their perspective. It's not you. It's not who you are. It's just how they perceive you. And you can say, okay, based on what you've said and your kind of perspective of that, I can understand why you're feeling that way. No but. That's it. And it's hard. It's really, really hard. But if you can have that kind of conversation, you can have the skills and build the kind of relationships that you need to overcome high conflict co-parenting. You might not ever get to the point where your co-parent stops being high conflict. Maybe that's who they are and you can't do that. But you can say, you know what, I understand why you're concerned about these kids. I understand that you feel like you are a better parent and that the kids are more safe when they're with you. I understand that you love the kids and you feel like nobody else can love them the way that you do. I understand that. It's your right to feel that way. Not saying that it's true, but they have the right to perceive things how they want. And when people feel validated, they get out of their fear. When they understand that you're not looking to fight them or to argue, they are able to calm down, to de-stress, and to not necessarily be vulnerable with you, but learn to trust you a little bit and learn to trust that what you're saying is something that they can rely on. Most of the time, not 100% of the time. And if you're in a truly high conflict situation, it can be really tough. So I'm going to extend the same offer to you guys that I gave tonight to the people who were in attendance at the conference. Y'all know that I'm a life coach, and in addition, I have a hard time with words sometimes. My brain's really tired and I have a little bit of a headache right now, so I'm sorry. Take a deep breath. Okay. So, in my life coaching business, I'm starting a new VIP group, and I'm going to be moving some of the trainings over to the VIP group. I will still be doing 1 training a week in here, but it will just be on step parenting issues. The other trainings, I'm going to be moving over into my VIP group. So mindfulness and step parenting issues and more of a support group type group. So it's going to be a monthly subscription group, and there are 3 different levels you can opt into. I'll be reaching out to each one of you to see if you're interested. And all of them include one-to-one coaching. And you guys, it's a screaming deal right now. Right now for the gold package, which is our highest level package, you get 4 one-to-one personal mentoring sessions, one-to-one with me and you each month. And if you buy it before June 5th, you can buy 6 months and get 6 months for free. It's only $50 a month, which is amazing. Amazing. For 45 minutes, it's $12.50 for 45 minutes of coaching one-on-one to delve into your issues and to figure out what's going on and how I can help you. I love helping people. It is my favorite thing on the planet. I love when I can help people kind of process through their emotions and see things in a different way and understand that they're a good human and that they can be happy and that they can be peaceful, and that they can move on in their lives, and that they can step into who they really are and be powerful and go forward. It just excites me. I love it. So I wanted to offer that to you guys first here. And if you sign up by June 5th, then you can get 6 months for free. That's if you buy 6 months. So I will be messaging you guys to see if you're interested, probably tomorrow when my head doesn't hurt quite so much. I slept wrong like a week ago right here. It's been hurting ever since. And so for whatever reason, words are a little bit difficult right now. But I love you. Please, if you have any questions about this, let me know. I'm going to post the graphic in the comments so that you can see. I know this was a little bit longer video, but if you feel like it was helpful, awesome. I'm also going to upload this one to YouTube because I want this shareable. So anyway, I love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.